depends on what perspective you look, which side of the fence you're on. As far as Vinoo was concerned, he had given enough warning. If you read Ray Robinson's book, it's very nicely explained. It's a very balanced viewpoint. Recently, there was an article by Greg Bourne, who also wrote a very balanced piece. There is a certain notoriety, if you like, or a stigma attached to the Mankading incident, particularly when I was living in Australia. There was a lot of that happening, and it's sort of synonymous with cheating almost. Yeah. But very few people actually realize that there was history between the two. That in the game before that the Mankading incident took place, Vinoo actually warned. It called Bill Brown twice. Yeah. The simple, in cricket terms, what was happening is that Bradman used to look for a single every last ball of the over to farm the strike. And in order to do that, the non-striker would try and gain as much advantage as he could. Fair enough. But that is certainly contravening the rules of the game. Now, the moot point is whether you're actually contravening the spirit of the game. But in this day and age, of course, everything's fair in love and war. But he was warned, and in fact, Don Bradman of all the people, so Donald Bradman actually came out in support. In fact, I met Mr. Bill Brown, just prior to his death, and I actually asked him, and he says, no, what Vinoo did was well within the rules, and he says, to be honest, I deserved it. So there wasn't any animosity, if you like, from the cricketing fraternity, if you like. But the crowds have their own opinion, and I guess they're entitled to it. I think, to be honest, he was disappointed at the fact that it sort of overtook all the other achievements, particularly in Australia. A guy who scored 2 double hundreds against the Invincible, 2 hundreds against the Invincibles in the same series at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, that somehow tends to get overshadowed. In fact, during the last India series, I was guest of Cricket Australia at a luncheon in Melbourne, and 2011. Yeah, and Paul Sheehan was one of the compares, at the Melbourne club, and he in fact very blatantly referred to as a notorious Vinoo Mankad. For a guy who's played so much cricket, that was a bit disappointing. And then in fact he felt bad about it. He called me after the speech, and he says, I thought I was a bit harsh. And I said, yes, you were, Paul. Because, it's not fair to get a few laughs. You've got to be balanced in your reporting, But anyway, he moved on. He had nothing in his, mind that, he'd done anything wrong.